Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to tackle a piece of grammar that is, and I mean this, absolutely crucial for your IELTS score. We're talking about the simple present tense. So, yeah, let's just dive right in.
So you want to boost your IELTS score in speaking and writing, right? Well, guess what? Getting this one tense right is your first non-negotiable step. I know, it sounds super basic, but trust me, when you nail this, you're telling the examiner, hey, I've got a solid grip on the basics, and that's a huge deal.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning, build that foundation. What is the simple present tense anyway? And more importantly, why should you care about it for your exam?
Okay, think of it this way. At its heart, the simple present is all about things that are, well, constant. Things that don't really change. You know, big facts like the Earth orbits the sun, or even your own personal routines like I check my email every single morning. These are solid, stable truths, and that's exactly what this tense is for.
And man, this tense is a real workhorse. You use it all the time. For your habits, yep, that daily coffee counts. For straight-up facts, like water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. For schedules that are set in stone. And even for things you just like or dislike. You know, I love pizza. It pretty much covers all those steady, everyday parts of life.
All right, so knowing when to use it, that's half the battle right there. But now for the other equally important half, how do you actually build it correctly? Let's get into the nuts and bolts.
Okay, check this out. This table lays it all out perfectly. You can see the big difference, can't you? For I, you, we, they, it's super straightforward. I play. The negative is I don't play. And the question is, do you play? But look over here. For he, she, it, things change just a little. We've got to add that crucial S for positives. She plays. And then we switch to doesn't and does for the negatives and questions. See that pattern?
So listen up, because this is the most important rule. If you forget everything else, please remember this. For he, she, and it, you just add an S to the verb in a positive sentence. That's it. This one little letter is the #1 mistake IELTS candidates make. Don't let that be you.
But of course, because it's English, there are always a couple of tricky spelling rules, right? For most verbs, yeah, you just stick an S on the end. Easy. But if the verb ends in a sound like ch, sh, or x, you add es. It just makes it sound better. You say watches, not watches. And the other one to watch out for is verbs ending in y. If it's a consonant, then a y, like in study. You swap it out for ies. So study becomes studies.
Okay, that's enough theory. Let's get real. How does this actually play out? More importantly, what are the common mistakes people make that can seriously cost you points on your exam?
Okay, here they are. The two biggest offenders. First, he play football. Nope, what's it missing? That all-important S. It has to be he plays. And the second one, she don't like coffee. Also wrong. For she, we've got to use doesn't. Seeing them right next to each other like this makes it super obvious, doesn't it? Now, to really get why that second mistake is a mistake, you need to know what a base verb is. It sounds technical, but it's not. It's just the verb in its simplest, most basic form, like the version you'd look up in a dictionary. No S, no ed, no ing. So for plays, the base verb is just play.
And here is the golden rule for negatives. This is so important. After don't and doesn't, you always, and I mean always, use the base verb. You would never ever say she doesn't plays. Why? Well, because the does part of doesn't is already doing the job of that S. You only need it once.
Okay, theory time is over. Let's see if all this has sunk in. We're going to do a quick practice round to put you to the test. You ready for this? Let's go.
All right, first one up. Complete the sentence. They, and the verb is like, cats. What do you think?
And the answer is like. That's right. Because it's they, the verb just stays in its simple base form. They like cats. Easy peasy.
Okay, next challenge. He, and the verb is study every night. Now remember the rule for he, and think about that Y at the end. You got it. It's studies. Why? Well, first, the subject is he, so we need that S sound. And because study ends with that consonant and Y, we change it to IEs. So, he studies every night. Perfect. All right, last one for the quiz. It's a question. Do you, and the verb is work, here. What happens to the verb now? And the answer is work. You nailed it. Remember the rule?
Because we have that little helper do at the start of the question, the main verb just chills out in its base form. Do you work here? Awesome job, everyone. Okay, so you've seen the rules, you've smashed the practice quiz. What's next? Well, the most important thing you can do now is take this knowledge and apply it in a real, timed test situation.
And a really great place to do that is over at IELTSbattles.com. They have these amazing computer-delivered mock tests that use AI to give you a score. You get super detailed feedback on your speaking and writing, which is a game changer because it tells you exactly what you need to work on.
So, look, don't just learn this stuff, actually use it. That's how you turn this knowledge into a higher band score. The key is to practice smarter so you can achieve higher. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today.